Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Proof Canelo Alvarez never ducked Caleb Plant. Look, let's just break it down. We got an interesting question from our boxing Q&A from Boxing Smarts, and he states, I'm hearing a lot of people say Canelo Alvarez is ducking Caleb Plant because negotiations broke down and now it looks like he's fighting Callum Smith. Can you clear this up? Thanks. Salute to Boxing Smarts, my brother. And the funny thing about all of this is that, now they're saying Canelo Alvarez is ducking Caleb Plant, but before people were saying that Caleb Plant was a cherry pick. So which one is it? Is Canelo Alvarez cherry picking Caleb Plant, or is he ducking Caleb Plant? And explain to me, how can you duck a cherry pick? It simply doesn't make sense. These are what you call fanboy narratives and fanboy logics. Anybody telling you this is stupid. If you take any of this serious, you're stupid. Because at the end of the day, we know the real situation. It's Canelo Alvarez hate. And people love to hate on the face of boxing. And that's all this is about. But I'm going to break you down the absolute proof why there is no duck going on here. The first point is, why would Canelo Alvarez offer someone a fight just to duck them? It doesn't make any sense. This is what fanboys simply don't understand. You see Canelo Alvarez offered Caleb Plant to fight. They were in deep negotiations to finalize it for December 19th. And Canelo Alvarez, when asked on Box Azteca, how do you feel about this fight? What day do you want it to be on? And Canelo Alvarez said specifically, I don't care if it's December 19th or Christmas. What I want is to fight this year. So why would you make a guy an offer and insist on fighting any day because you simply just want to fight this year? It's not about an ego. You simply want to fight, and you want to fight this guy. So why would he make the offer just to duck it? It doesn't make any sense. The second point is, according to BoxingScene.com, another source told BoxingScene.com that there has been some discussion between Canelo Alvarez's team and Premier Boxing Champions chief Al Heyman about a 3-fight deal that will return Canelo Alvarez to pay-per-view that would have included a fight with the IBF super middleweight title holder, Caleb Plant. So what this is saying is that Al Heyman and the PBC offered Canelo Alvarez a 3-fight deal that included Caleb Plant. So that means they were going to promote this fight with Canelo Alvarez. They were going to promote it. That's what they were going to do. They were going to promote this fight with Canelo Alvarez, and likely it was going to be under a 3-fight deal with the PBC, and Caleb Plant would have been about the first fight. Now, the interesting thing is Mike Coppinger stated that Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant appears to be dead, at least for December, simply not enough time to stage a fight of that magnitude on pay-per-view. So what they're saying is, who would be having the problem staging the fight? It would be the PBC. So if the PBC is having trouble staging a fight that quickly, how is that a duck from Canelo Alvarez? See, this is the problem with fanboys and logic. They rely on their feelings and they don't rely on facts because they have hate for this man instead of worrying about the facts. We don't deal in hate. We don't deal in feelings. We deal simply only in facts. According to Bob Arum, the reason why Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight didn't happen in December 19th, and this is according to BoxingScene.com as well. He states, we lost December 19th, referring to a decision made by ESPN and Fox Sports. So where would the Canelo Alvarez Caleb Plant have been on? The fight. Fox pay-per-view. Now, if it's on Fox pay-per-view, of course Fox didn't want these guys to have the fight. The PBC knew that because it would have been conflicting with their schedules. How do we know? We've seen Bob Arum even state, PBC and Fox advised Wilder and Bob Arum and ESPN to change the date, and they were looking at dates at the end of February and the end of January. So it looks like those would be the dates that would have been better for these guys to stage a fight of that magnitude. You remember Mike Coppinger said the fight is dead for December at least, but it's just not enough time to stage it. So that doesn't mean the fight won't happen. It just looks like the fight may not happen in December. So at the end of the day, if the PBC is the one who's having issues with the dates and staging the fights, how is that Canelo Alvarez ducking Caleb Plant? That makes zero sense. Once again, we got to rely on facts and never feelings. And you also see that Canelo Alvarez has reportedly agreed and reached a deal with Callum Smith to fight in December. It's claimed the bout is being eyed for AT&T Stadium in Texas. The exact date is to be determined, but it could be December 18th or 19th. Now, Chava from ESPN, Salvador Rodriguez, has basically stated that, hey, it's either targeted for AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys, or it will happen in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. The target dates for this fight are 3: the 18th, 19th, and the 20th. So they have multiple days open for Canelo Alvarez to fight Callum Smith in Texas, whether it's San Antonio or Arlington, and it's the 18th, 19th, or 20th. So they have multiple days. And you remember, Canelo Alvarez said he doesn't care if it's the 19th or Christmas Day. What he wants is to fight this year. So all that matters is to Canelo Alvarez is that he fights this year. And if Callum Smith fits the bill on the zone, which is not going to be a pay-per-view, he will do it. And he doesn't care if it's on a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday. He simply wants to fight this year. That's what you call free smoke. And now, look, remember, let's have a little history lesson. We all know that Caleb Plant was the one who initially ducked Canelo Alvarez. He's the one that said, I'm not fighting Canelo Alvarez in May, after a tune-up fight where he took 0 damage. We got to understand, this is the same guy that said out of his own mouth, that means taking a half a month off after a 3.5-month camp and going right back to work just so they can try to get me when I'm overworked. So first of all, why are you taking a 3.5-month camp for a bum? Camp is simply about 6 to 8 weeks. You're taking a 3.5-month camp for a bum? You're doing about double for a bum? That makes no sense. That got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And not only that, this dude still gets over a half a month off, and you shouldn't even be taking 3.5-month camps, moron. That's why you're overworked, because you're doing it to yourself, you stupid idiot. Look, at the end of the day, we know and we separate facts from feelings, and the truth is Caleb Plant didn't want to smoke with Canelo Alvarez. He simply didn't want to get in there and get knocked out. That's all that was. He ducked Canelo Alvarez, and now these fanboys are making up lies. But once again, Unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.